with us, and that's a pretty good player, isn't he?
Oh, man.
He's okay.
He's pretty good. He's pretty
How good is he compared to anybody else you coached, really, throughout your entire career?
Yeah, well, he's the most complete of all the guys. I mean, he's just on and off the field. I mean, the guy's graduated in 3 years. He's back-to-back MVPs of the ACC championship game, back-to-back ACC titles. That hadn't happened in 28 years. He lost 3 games in his career. He's just a tough out, and it all goes back to his preparation, his football foundation, his will to win. He's always the same, and you know he's got the skills and all those things, and those are easy to see and easy to measure and evaluate. But his poise and his football IQ off the charts.
What about turnovers this year?
Yeah.
Just that part of his game.
Yeah.
He talked about it, and I was shocked when he came out and said, I was pressing a little bit. I was trying to hit the home run. Just to have that kind of honesty to the media, you don't see that very often either.
Well, first of all, I think he's got maybe 2 more turnovers than he had last year, so he's not that far off. But we've asked him to do a lot more this year. We've thrown the ball more. Not all, you know, every time there's a turnover, it all goes to the quarterback. But there's been some tip balls that should have been caught. There's been some guys that weren't where they're supposed to be, and the ball was where it was. And so, you know, but that just kind of comes with the territory. But it's all the other plays. Everybody focuses on the negative. And just like in the Pittsburgh game, he threw 70 passes and completed 72% of them for 580 yards. He had 3 bad plays. 3 bad plays. Yeah, and that's what. And he scored 42 points. So, you know, the guy's unbelievable. But I think to be honest with you, he's made people numb to what he does.
Yeah.
He's so good, and
Yeah,
he's been so good for so long and so consistent. People are just numb to the good. It's just like, oh, he did this bad. And but he just takes it all in stride. That's another thing that makes him special is he gets it, and he doesn't get rattled. I mean, and if you look at his, for example, there was a time he threw a pick 6 this year. He came back 14 straight completions, school record. You know, I mean, it's how he's always responded. You know, people
Every big moment.
Listen, Brett Favre throws interceptions.
Yeah.
Tom Brady makes. But how do you respond, especially when the moment is big? And time again, his entire career, it doesn't matter what we've needed, he's done it.
No.
And to me, that's what makes him special. That's why he's going to be a great pro. He is going to be an unbelievable pro. And he's going to change a franchise, change a community, change a locker room, because that's how strong
There are a lot
this
of
young man is.
There are a lot of teams in the NFL that could use it.
Yeah.
Dabo, you get the experience last year playing national championship. And talking about Deshaun, it's one of the best performances I've ever seen by a quarterback in person. What does that translate into this year and maybe changing some things or kind of doing what you've been doing just a little bit better to try to get over that hump and take it home?
To be honest with you, I wouldn't change anything from our preparation standpoint last year. I thought we were well prepared. We played an unbelievable game in the Orange Bowl against Oklahoma. And to be honest, you know, we put 550 yards on Alabama's defense, and a lot of you guys didn't think we'd get a first down going into that game.
I don't know about a first down.
Maybe 2 first downs. And our guys played a heck of a ball game, and it came down to a few plays like championship games do. And Alabama made those plays, and we didn't. We had our opportunities. We had to lead the 4th quarter, and so I think the biggest thing for me was validation. If anything else, I mean, that when you know, again, Clemson hadn't won a national championship in a long time, and it was a new experience. And it's one thing, as we always say, to dream about it, but when you've experienced it, there's a whole nother mentality that comes with it. And this team brought that back into spring practice. They brought that back into the meeting rooms, into the weight rooms, into everything. That leadership, and they know they're good enough. And I think that that's resonated all year, and they've been the target. And they've embraced that. They really have. They've embraced it all year. At the end of the day, we're right where we wanted to be. And we got a chance to go back and see if we can do it all over again.
What's
Go give
different?
our best shot.
Last year's team and this year's team, what's different?
We're a better football team than we were. We're a better team right now today than we were in the national championship game. And there's a couple of reasons. One is last year we played 10 straight to finish the season. And we kind of limped through the finish line. We got through it, but we were on fumes. this team right now, I think, is playing close to its best football. I think that we've got more competitive depth. We went into we were, you know, Shaq Lawson and Kevin Dodd, everybody else a freshman. We were Ben Boulware, B.J. Goodson, everybody else is a freshman. We have more guys that can function for us and play winning football than we had last year. Way more. For example, it was a big loss losing Mackenzie Alexander last year. Yeah. And this year we've got more depth, more competition at practice. That brings a different sense of urgency in the meetings and so forth. And then this is the best offensive line. We're better not. Last year, Deion Kane didn't play for us in the bowl game or the national championship game. Deion was a freshman. Ray McLeod was a freshman. Travion Thompson was a freshman. And some guy named Renfro was a freshman. Those guys are all sophomores now. Mitch Hyatt was a true freshman left tackle. All right,
good.
And nobody, no way we're going to block anybody. And now all those guys are older, and so we're more complete at running back. We've got more functional depth there. You know, Jordan Leggett is 2 years in a row of being he's just a more complete player than he was this time last year. And then plus, I think the mentality again of they've been there. They're hungry for it. I mean, I think the pain is part of getting better.
Well,
you know, a little pain will go a long way.
Sort of like that mentality, Ohio State missed out on it last year, and so now they're thinking,
sure,
now we're hungry.
Absolutely.
The upperclassmen that are here that maybe have gone on to the NFL talk about the national championship. We didn't get to experience the playoffs last year. They're hungry, and their team kind of similar to you guys that they find ways to win.
No question.
They find a way to win, even when all the chips are down. It seems like they're not going to win.
Yeah, it'll be a great game. It'll be two teams that are very hungry to win. And got a lot of respect for Coach Meyer, and I mean, he rarely ever loses a game. I mean, like ever.
Ever.
It's like unbelievable. And you know, and we.
Why is that? What's the best part about Urban Meyer?
Well, I think that he's passionate. I think he's relentless about the little things. I think he's got a great football foundation and structure in place that he believes in, and everybody else, everything else goes from that. And he's a great recruiter. I mean, you know, and then he surrounds himself with a great staff. I mean, you can't do it by yourself. He's got a great defensive staff. He's got a great offensive staff, and they work their tails off in evaluating and developing in the recruiting process. And then I think, you know, philosophically how they play the game. It's fun. It's fun, and they get after you on defense. Offensively, he's got a brand of his own and has for a long time. We recruit the same guys. We're similar in a lot of ways, so we cross paths all the time. And again, we played them a couple years ago, and that one was
Who won that one?
We won it,
okay.
but it was down to the last.
You didn't have to say we played. You could have said we beat them a couple of years ago.
We won the game, but it was a dang hard fought battle.
Coach, one thing I want to know is how. So Deshaun Watson is leaving.
Yeah. How
do you keep this going? Because that's the one thing about these coaches.
Well, that's what when
Sammy Watkins,
when Nuke Hopkins left. You know, what are we going to do? Well, you know, and then Sammy Watkins left. Oh, Lord, what are we going to do? And now Mike Williams is, you know, it's
called Cruitin is what it's called. It's called Cruitin.
Yeah.
Hey, Christian Wilkins, Taj
Boyd left, and here's the shot. If you're going to be a great program
you gotta keep
and be consistent,
yeah.
not only you can't just go recruiting. You got to evaluate, and you got to have. I think you have to know who you are and don't just go get guys. Get guys that fit, and know your program and be able to articulate it as you go out on the road. But get guys that fit what you do. Now, not everybody's going to fit at Clemson. Not everybody's going to fit at Alabama.